having the power of electrification in his arsenal. The tide of the battle has changed. Zed overpowers the warden by dealing an impactful punch. Well, the warden is in utter shock. He wonders why he is getting punched, even though he is fighting a mage. Mages use magic to keep knights at a distance, and knights break through that magic to get close. That has always been the law of this world, an unbroken rule throughout history. But now that rule has been broken by a boy who uses fists, channeling magic through it. The warden moves backwards in order to create distance for his next assault. But to his surprise, Zed immediately closes the distance and attacks, not giving his opponent an opening to counterattack. Finally, Zed deals the last powerful punch, which sends his enemy flying. The director laughs as he accepts defeat and offers his life to the victor while saying that this type of power is expected from an arahant. "Do you want to know why you lost?" Zed asks. The director doesn't want to hear it and tells Zed to kill him. Zed replies that there's only one reason for his victory, and that's simply because he worked harder and he trained more. "Don't talk nonsense. It's because you're an Arahan. You were born different. That's the only reason," the warden shouts in anger. Moreover, he says that talented people like Zed doesn't understand the struggles of the untalented. Zed states that, right now, he is weaker than the director. If he had more experience and reacted better, of course, Zed would have lost. But the warden's inferiority complex has blinded him, and that's what stopped him from progressing. Zed says that people shouldn't look for the reason for their defeat elsewhere, since the reason lies solely within themselves. After hearing all of it, the director smiles as he is reminded of chivalry by a young mage. "Enough! Just kill me already!" he asks, since his pride is at stake. Zed thinks that this will be troublesome. If he kills the warden here, the Empire will put out a bounty on him. But he can't just leave him be either. While thinking, his S-level skill-tenacious challenger wears off, making a halt to his electrification. Seeing an opportunity, Herna orders the guards to attack Zed, and by judging the number of people, the situation can become a disadvantage for Zed. Suddenly, a smoke-like wind, in fact, a storm blows, blinding Zed and everyone. He predicts that this is someone's magic and decides to get out of it quickly, but by the time the storm clears, all that there's left are the corpses of his enemies. They all died without a single scream, even Herna and the warden. Well, he is not the lone survivor. His friend Ryu, who has been hiding near the bushes, is also safe, and he comes out. After coming out of hiding, he asks Zed whether he is the one who killed them all. Zed replies that he believes it was done by a high-ranking mage. They decide to leave quickly, but Ryu finds a mysterious card, which is way too clean as if it was dropped just now. So they leave the area with the card, and we see a mysterious man lurking in the shadows, wearing a black outfit. At night, they campfire, and Zed looks at the card. He channels a little mana into it, and just as he thought, it is indeed a magical card. It's a card used by secret organizations to exchange coded messages, and this emblem. It's Arahant's Black Flame. Furthermore, there is an organization named the Arahant's Black Mirror Corps. They swear absolute loyalty only to the head of the Arahan family. Both their scale and missions are shrouded in secrecy. The Empire's largest and most elite secret organization. At the back of the card, the number 4 is written. If he remembers correctly, 1 means acceptance or affirmation, 2 means rejection or denial, 3 means negotiation or proposal, and 4 means observation or protection. Arahant is protecting me? They discarded me for having no mana, but now they change their minds, he thinks. Then he remembers that now he has his mana stat, so he looks into it. After defeating Clark, some of the penalty was lifted, and his mana even increased by 2. He thinks whether this world have an experience system like the game. He unblocked a new skill, which is Transcendent Form Magic, that greatly enhances physical abilities while also generating a shield. It's currently inactive, probably because his stats are too low. He concluded that he may need to increase his mana value to 5 or 10 to activate this skill. At that time, Ryu says that he can't sleep because he is thinking about what to do next. Zed replies that they are to Prilda. Ryu reminds Zed that earlier, he mentioned that they didn't find the coachman's body. That means rumors must have spread by now and the Empire will soon issue a warrant. More importantly, they can't reach Prilda without a carriage. It's too far to walk to. Zed says that they need to adjust their route a bit. They are going to Tamaya. At that time, at Tamaya village in the Southern Front's outpost. Some people are summoned. Amongst them, a recognizable character is seen, which was Kim Jin-ho's main character when he played the game. The character says that he will begin the search immediately, that he, Torres Bahal, will hunt down the dishonorable Arahants and execute them. Later, Torres goes to answer the call of the Lord. The Lord states that a mission has come up for Torres. An Arahant who was imprisoned in the Carrion Detention Center. A few years ago has escaped from the facility and is now on the run after killing the warden and several people from Motor City. He says that he leaves everything to Torres. As Bahal's successor, he should judge for himself and uphold the honor of the family. Torres says that he, Torres Bahal, will stake his life to carry out the Lord's command. It's been 5 days since Zed and Ryu have been walking. Ryu says that no matter how he thinks about it, it's complete madness that they are walking straight into the front lines. On the outskirts of the Empire, there is a front line to block the demonic beasts. Each family is assigned a designated area, and the southern region belongs to Bahal. The place they are heading to, Tamaya, is a village located at that very front line where demonic beasts occasionally cross over. The reason they are heading to this village, which is practically a forward base, is because there is a transportation gate there. It's so expensive that even most nobles can't easily use it, but well, they have plenty of money. Ryu says that Zed will only realize its madness after getting torn apart by a demonic beast. Zed replies that this is the best option available for them. While camping at night, they suddenly feel a vibration which indicates someone is approaching. They put off the fire and decide to go into hiding. "Don't tell me, is it really a demonic beast?" Ryu asks. Zed replies that he would be happy if rather it be that, honestly. Zed feels that it's not just one or two. There's at least dozens of vibrations. There's no way that many demonic beasts could have slipped past the southern front line under Bahal's watch. If that's the case, then it can be Bahal's team itself. He sees a white horse with blue eyes, which indicates that it's the Bahal Knights. Even at a rough count, there are more than 50 of them. Zed wishes that they just keep going without looking back. Alas, the Knights find traces of campfire. Zed concludes that the Knight Order requires at least 5th Circle mages to join. In other words, there are at least 50 Knights of Clark rank. So if they stay hidden, it's only a matter of time before they are discovered. Ryu says that at least Zed should run. He can make it, because even if they spare him, they'll definitely kill Zed. "Don't be so dramatic. They wouldn't actually kill us, right?" Ryu asks. Zed replies that Ryu himself is shaking like a leaf while giving this suggestion. He tells Ryu not to worry because he still has a way that might work. At the next moment, where hiding and running away was no longer an option, Zed reveals himself thinking about the card given by the Arahant and introduces himself. Since the number 4 means under observation and protection, they might as well see for themselves. If they are going to die anyway by staying put, they might as well try something instead of regretting it. As he is about to say that he will like to speak with the leader, he is immediately attacked, and the guy who is attacking is way faster than he expected. Zed tells them to wait as he wants to talk things out, but the guy doesn't stop his attack. To his surprise, his sword was stopped. In fact, it was blocked by another person. Zed thought they might be watching from somewhere, but he didn't expect them to be this close. Even with a perception stat of 100, he didn't sense them at all. Yes, this is Arahant's Black Mirror Corps, who have come to the rescue. The leader tells the knights to turn back. Doing so, nothing will happen and they will be safe. Who dares to stand in Bahal's way? Torres Bahal asks, while taking the lead. The Black Mirror Corps sees that Torres Bahal, the successor of the Bahal, has arrived. Torres Bahal's presence is so familiar to Zed that it feels like a part of him, because it's the character he played the longest, the one who stood with him until the very end. He knows this isn't the time, but seeing Torres in person, it's really nostalgic. The group leader of the Black Mirror Corps tells Zed Arahant to leave quickly so that nothing will happen. They're definitely trying to protect me. But why is the Black Mirror Corps going this far? Zed wonders. Torres that he is finally seeing the secret organization whom he has only heard rumors about. Even knowing who I am, you dare pull a stunt like this? He asks. He says that Zed Arahant has finally crossed the line here. As he is about to attack, he is stopped by a magic circle. Zed thinks that this magic circle is a kind of trap. He can't step of it or avoid it. But predicting the exact location and setting it up before the situation even unfolded, this isn't the work of a 5th or 6th circle magic. He predicts that the guy in front of him is a 7th circle mage. The mage tells Torres that the moment they lift their foot, an explosion will occur. Torres asks whether the Arahant truly wants a war with Bahal. The mage tells them to turn back because even the Bahal's lord wouldn't want a war. Torres gets enraged as he feels that his family's reputation is being tarnished. So, he starts to accumulate his power in order to deal a strike. Zed thinks that this is a fight Torres Bahal can't win, since in the early stage of the game, Torres is only a 6th circle mage. He can't beat a 7th circle mage, so the outcome is obvious. If a full-scale battle breaks out here, Torres and the knights will be annihilated. But the next moment, Zed is surprised to see the attack named the Lion's Roar. That's Bahal's first secret technique, Lion's Roar. That's impossible for Torres to use now, since that technique requires at least 7th circle magic. If he doesn't stop, he might die. Zed tells the mage to disarm the magic circle. He repeats it again. The mage replies that it's not possible because they only follow the orders of the former lord, and the command he received was to protect Zed. He was never ordered to obey Zed's instructions. Then you should only be protecting me. Why are you trying to kill Bahal's successor? Zed questions as he shouts. That it would also be overstepping his authority. At his level, he should be able to complete his mission without killing the successor. He tells the mage to deactivate the magic circle immediately, and he also tells Torres to stop. Torres says that he can't stop when Zed killed the warden and innocent citizens of the South. He will make sure that the culprit pay the price for his crimes. Zed replies that it's a misunderstanding. So they should sit and talk. Torres says that he is fine with it, but he will talk with him after he has brought Zed to his knees. Zed notices that the magic circle didn't explode, maybe because the Black Mirror Corps just obeyed him. Torres immediately attacks Zed, but due to the barrier created by the Black Mirror Corps, Zed is saved, or else he would be dead by now. Although Torres's attack was in an incomplete state, it still shattered 4 layers of a 7-circle wind barrier. The power is indeed unfathomable. Alas. Torres is feeling the backlash from forcing out an incomplete secret technique as he coughs blood. Seriously, why'd you use a secret art when you're not ready for it? Zed asks. Torres gets shocked to see that Zed even knows about the secret technique, but he loses consciousness without speaking anything of it. The other knights come running worried while Zed informs that it's a mana reflux, so if they don't treat Torres immediately, he will be in grave danger. The knights try to heal him, but it's no use. Since you can't treat mana reflux, if your circle is lower than the victim's, and if anyone here has a higher circle than Torres right now, that would be the Black Mirror. Zed tells him to heal Torres. The Black Mirror refuses. Zed says that Torres is an old friend of his. The Mirror Corps says that it's utter nonsense because a mage and a knight can't be friends. Then, Zed tries a different approach. He says that since mages always see benefits, saving Torres will be more beneficial because if he dies here, Arahant won't be able to stop an all-out war with the Bahal. The Black Mirror still refuses, saying that Torres brought this upon himself. Moreover, it has nothing to do with his mission. The time is running out and Torres's health is getting more critical as time passes. Zed makes a firm decision so that the Black Mirror can't refuse anymore. He holds the sword near his neck as he says that he will take his life if he doesn't start the healing, making it clear that he is the kind of person who doesn't bluff. Lastly, the Black Mirror says that if the head of the house finds out about it, he will be furious. Zed replies that it is his burden to bear. Although the knights refused to take the help, but at the end they agreed, and the Black Mirror heals Torres. His mana circuit gets stabilized while the Black Mirror disappears, leaving nothing but a magic card behind. This time it's notes, with number 9, which means either abandoned or survived. Zed, were those mages earlier from the Black Mirror Corps? Then that card from last time, was that from them too? Ryu asks. Zed answers that it was indeed the Black Mirror Corps, and now with this card, they are basically saying that Zed is all on his own now. Then, he gets curious to know how his friend knows about the Black Mirror Corps. Ryu says that even the kids know the name of this organization at least. Furthermore, he suggests that they should lay low for now because just by judging the knight's expression, they are on high alert, so if anything happens, they might be dead in an instant. Zed replies that if they were mages and he were a knight, he would already be dead. Knights are people who value honor, no matter how wanted someone is. Killing the person who saved your life would go against everything they stand for. Knights give their lives for honor, whereas mages will kill a friend if it brings them gain. According to him, both extremes are irrational, but it actually makes them easier to deal with because they're so predictable. With knights, a person should appeal to their honor, and with mages, a person should offer them profit. At the moment, one of the knights informs that the heir of the Bahal is asking for them. Torres and Zed, along with Ryu, sit to have a conversation. Torres introduces the minor tea, which is cultivated by their family and its aroma is exquisite. They decide to speak casually. Ryu notices that they are talking like old friends while drinking tea. Before getting to the point, Bahal expresses his gratitude and says thank you to Zed for saving his life. Zed smiles, thinking that Torres is thanking a mage, although he is the heir of Bahal, whose pride should be high enough to pierce the sky. Well, he knew Torres' personality even before entering this place, and that's what he liked about him the most. Let's skip the small talk and get to the point. You said the murder of Director Clark was a misunderstanding. What did you mean by that? Torres asks. Zed explained everything in detail from the detention center to how he got here. Of course, he left out opening his mana and obtaining the Thunder Pulse. In short, he says, since they all know Arahant doesn't back down from a fight. They tried to kill him first, so he just fought back. Torres, that if Zed is saying the truth, then the self-defense could be justified, but the key question is whether it's all true or not. Zed clears out the misunderstanding with a smirk on his face. He says that if he had no intention of clearing up this misunderstanding, he would have let Torres die back there, because from his position, there's no more surefire way than that. Finally, Torres believes Zed and gives the powdered miner as an apology for his false assumptions. Zed says instead of an apology like this, he wants Torres to grant a different request. He says that he wants Torres to find Ryu's lost younger sibling. Torres seems a little confused because this request doesn't benefit a mage. Zed says that he doesn't care about that because he promised he would find them. The next morning, Zed is exercising. To think someone would use Bahal's favor just to ask for help finding some nobody's lost sibling. Seriously. He's a weird one, Ryu thinks, while looking at Zed. Meanwhile, Torres is watching them from outside. He is in such awe to see that a mage is sweating because mages think sweating is barbaric. He heard Zed Arahant has no mana. From the world's perspective, for a mage, having no mana is like a knight without a sword, and yet, Zed doesn't give up. Instead, he pushes forward. It's such an honorable sight. If I were in his position, could I carry myself with such dignity? Torres wonders, and that was the moment when he made up his mind that he would absolutely become friends with that mage who is more knightly than any knight. Later, Torres prepared something special for lunch for Arahant and Ryu. He explains that it's Birdie Mountain beef, which is high in protein, which helps physical training. Then he tells all of them to sit. Zed notices that Torres humbly prepared a round table with no distinction of a head seat. Without further delay, Zed and Ryu start to eat. Zed thinks that nothing special comes in free, so he assumes that Torres wants something in return. Suddenly, the other knights stand up, saying sorry, but they can't share a table with an Arahant. After their departure, Torres also says sorry for their behalf. Zed tells Torres not to punish the knights for their behavior. Instead, he suggests that Torres should find the reason for their behavior and comfort them. Torres gets surprised to see that Zed is protecting the knights, even though he is a mage. He says that he is learning something new. Anyway, haven't you wanted to say something to us since earlier? Zed asks. Torres asks whether they can postpone their departure by just one day, since they were planning to go to Prilda to find Ryu's sibling. But now he wants to show his members that Zed is a good person, and for that one day will be enough. Zed then asks Ryu about it. Ryu says that he is okay with that. Either way, the knights need to be involved, and even if they went to Prilda right now, it feels like it would just be going through the motions. Finally, they decide to follow Torres's lead and reach the southern front beyond the Tamaya castle walls. Torres gathered 20 members and formed a frontline search team. The southern and western regions are areas where the power of magical beasts is particularly strong, so the difficulty of the search operation was quite high. Could it be because of the party? It's a Bahal tradition for the deployed troops to hold a party, celebrating their safe return after a search. So his intention is to include me in this atmosphere of encouraging each other for our hard work? Zed wonders as he walks. While venturing, the knights find some unknown traces which they have never seen before. Torres asks everybody whether any one of them knows what kind of creatures these traces are from. One of the knights says that it looks like the traces of an undiscovered magical beast, not in the monster compendium. So, according to the manual, they should return to headquarters and report this. But still, Torres decides to fight the monster. According to him, because this area is Sector 1, the unknown might also be a low level. Thus, dealing with it will not be a problem. Zed moves forward and says that he knows the monster who left these traces, and its name is Balsilic. It's a mid-level magical beast, and with Torres at the 6th Circle and 25th Circle knights dealing with it shouldn't be an issue. But the knights oppress Zed's suggestion by saying that a mage from the west wouldn't know better about a mysterious beast in the southern area than the knights who actually live in the south. Is there any proof that it only appears in the south? Isn't it possible that the Arahan is just better at keeping records of magical beasts? Zed asks, but the knights take his questions as an insult to the Bahal. Zed tells them that they are the ones doing the insulting. How dare mere members like you speak informally to the Arahant's descendant? He asks. Lastly, Torres stops the commotion and again says sorry on behalf of his members. He says that he was hoping they could all get along, but it's not as easy as he thought. He couldn't finish his sentence because suddenly a monster appeared and he moved backwards. Zed informs Torres that the monster is behind him, and Torres again has to move backwards. In the next moment, we see that there isn't a single monster, but rather two of them charging straight. Torres prepares a strong attack and orders all of the members to attack the monster on the right, first with their all might along with him. They launch the attack, but it doesn't work. Zed knows that the knight's training is impeccable, but that thing's skin can't be pierced by sword skills at the 5th or 6th circle level. So Zed tells them to get down since it's the monster's turn to attack. Torres also orders his members to follow Zed's commands. Everyone follows it, except one saying, why should they follow some mage's order? Zed again warns him to get down. The monster uses an attack that scatters poison needles in all directions, but not a single one stuck into the ground. Zed saves the reluctant knight. He mocks him by saying that those needles would hurt quite a lot if he got hit. Then he tells Torres that the next attack will target their lower body too, and evading it will be tough. He says that he will take the one on the right, and other members should focus on the left. Torres says that he will quickly finish the monster and come to Zed's rescue. Arahant smiles to see that even in this situation, Torres is more worried for the well-being of others than himself. After a few seconds, Torres again takes the lead with his army to gang up on the monster on the left. Zed also gets ready to fight and activates his S-class skill, the Tenacious Challenger's Aura, which increases all of his stats by 10. He then adds the power of electrification to it and immediately charges at the monster.